Okay, on this part, I'm going to take you through how to assemble the Terminator Captain. We're going to need two tools for this, well, a tool and a consumable. So we're going to take our plastic glue. Again, if you're a subscriber, you'll get the GW branded one, but this is exactly the same stuff. And our clippers. So we've got all of our cleaned up parts on the instructions, a little shadow board so we know where everything is as we work through. So we're not actually going to follow the instructions very closely, we're going to modify them slightly for this. The reason I'm going to do this is because it's going to make it easier to paint later. So I'm going to take this part, the cloak, place it to one side for now. So we're going to get these two. Assemble them. It's got a left and a right leg to orientate, like so. Use your plastic glue, just in a little join there, separate slightly, and a little dab of glue in there on all the joints. And hold together for a few seconds. Okay, so this kit and a couple of the other ones you'll get in the magazine are push fit. They shouldn't require any glue. I would recommend you do use glue, and we're going to cut quite a few of those plug and sockets off to make it the assembly better. Okay, we're going to go back to our cloak and we're going to glue the arms on only. So sword arm fits over there. It does locate, so it won't rotate once it's pushed in. And then the shoulder guard plug goes in. Okay, we don't need to glue these parts or modify them in any way. Storm bolter. Put the two halves together first. And place the arm on, and the shoulder guard will go through there as well. No, wrong bit. Okay, and it should look a little bit like this. This is this part fully assembled. Now, the reason I've done this is when the miniature is assembled, it's going to be incredibly difficult to paint this cloak because there's big thick visor in the way. However, we can't actually assemble this part without popping something off. So, two ways to get around that. A little bit of plastic glue there. Not to worry. We can either pull the arms off once they're painted. We don't really want to start manipulating the model once it's got paint on it, because that's a good way to rub off the paint, or it could shear off depending. But what we can do is, if we look at this stud or plug here, we can cut that short, about half the length, and now the body will slide in behind the shields and push fit. He says, there we go. That's not a very good joint, but what we'll do is we'll come back after we've painted the miniature with a little bit of super glue, and then it will stick it all together. So put that sub-assembly to one side. You know what? When this video is over, I'm actually going to glue those arms in place because I don't like the fact they rotate. That's going to annoy me as I'm painting it, and it should be a pleasurable experience. Anyway, back to the body. We've got our greaves, our leg armour. They just slot in place. These won't come off. We haven't cut anything short. Finally, the head. Fits inside his hood. Okay. I could glue that part in, but I'm not going to, because depending how I feel later, I might take that out to paint it separately. But I think there's enough room to get around the brush and the miniature, so we won't need to. But I'm going to keep that open as an option. And finally, the base just slots in to its little tabs. Yeah, for ease of painting, I'm going to assemble the miniature to the base, but I'm going to leave a significant gap here. That means I can undercoat everything, and when I come back later, means I'm much less likely to get the blue onto the Screamer Killer or the concrete. Okay, so that is as assembled as we're going to get for now. In the next one, we're actually going to start throwing some paint on them. So I'll see you then.